Yesterday we looked at protein synthesis. Now, protein synthesis is way more complicated than we're going to get into. There are some Science 10 teachers, like I said yesterday, who take it a lot further than we're going to. I'll show you what I mean by that. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to require that you know how to do this, but I do want to show you what I mean by that. If my computer will work. Okay. Where are you? Codon. This thing. No, that is my daughter. Yes, that is not what I want you to see. I don't not want you to see that because otherwise I wouldn't be my desktop. But it's not what I'm looking for. Okay. Here we go. Let's pull up this guy. Is that big enough? Open image in new tab. Oh, that's way too small. I want large pictures. Come on. My daughter's name is Natasha. Okay, my apologies, guys. I had it, and then the link is gone. Ooh, maybe this will do it. Yes. Cool. So then I want to rotate and close and zoom. Haha. Okay, so I've got it ready to go. This. Okay. Oh, wrong one. So this is a codon worksheet. Yesterday, when we were looking at protein synthesis, I did tell you, that when you're making a protein, the RNA polymerase that goes along the chain reads everything in three-letter chunks. So these are the three-letter chunks. Either you can start with a U, you can start with a C, or you can start with, any one of these four, a U, a C, an A, or a G. The second letter can be a U, a C, an A, or a G. And then the last letter can be a U, a C, an A, and a G. What that does is it gives you combinations of, 64 different combinations of what we call codons. And each one of those codons codes for a particular amino acid. But your DNA also has codes built into it that tell the RNA polymerase as it's going along the DNA strand when to start and when to stop reading. Like a period and a capital letter. A capital letter tells you a sentence is starting, or there's a name. Like there's significance to how we use letters, capital letters and lowercase letters, and there's significance to punctuation. There's a period, or an exclamation mark, or a question mark, or whatever. In English, it signifies something about what came before. So these guys are similar. You get all of these 64 different three-letter chunks tell you different things. These ones specifically, if whenever your RNA polymerase runs into a UAG or a UGA three-letter code, that tells it, no, stop, the protein is done. It doesn't actually code for anything. It's the period in the DNA code. This guy right here, AUG, usually, not always, but usually that three-letter code is the start reading here. It's the capital letter at the beginning of the sentence. Then the RNA polymerase goes from there. And then all of these things, the different four-letter or three-letter chunks, have different names that then code for specific amino acids. Now, there are something like 500 different amino acids out there in the world. For whatever reason, the proteins in people, we only use 20 of them. And of those 20, your body can only make 12, over 13 of them. So the other ones, you have to go out into your diet, the things that you choose to eat, and you need to find those amino acids there. Whether it's in wherever your protein source is, eggs, fish, chicken, beef, beans, whatever, tofu. Wherever you choose to get your protein sources is where your amino acids are. So this is going to be connected to these ideas right here. And this is what we were looking at yesterday. What I wanted you guys to, the first thing I wanted you guys to start with was, excuse me, this procedure here. We started looking at protein synthesis in these 3-letter chunks. I wanted you to finish this. So what did you guys come up with for the rest of this RNA chunk? It started here, and it's going to end here, and I did these first 4. What do we get? Sorry? The next 3 are going to be GGC. The next 3 are going to be GUU, CGC, CUU, UUC, CGC, UGU. Sorry? Those last 3 shouldn't all be the same letter because these ones aren't all the same letter. No, T is still going to give you an A. Oh, so we oopsed in here somewhere. Adenine does exist in an amino acid. So it would be AUU. So we made an oops in here somewhere. The A's are going to give you U's, that's good. But then this guy here, the TTG, that should have actually been AAC, which if I'm not mistaken would be this guy right here. AAC. Yeah, and then CGC, and then UGU, and then AUU. So the only thing that isn't present is the thymine. The adenine is still allowed to be there. So then when we're looking at these things, we can see what all of these different proteins are. Keep that thing in front of you. I'm going to go back to that chart that I gave you that I'm not going to expect you to do a lot with, but I still want to show you how it works. Come here. Come on. There we go. So you can see that this thing's coding for a particular set of amino acids. If you look at the chain, we started with UAC. UAC is going to be UAC. So that particular amino acid, the first one that we listed, is called tyrosine. Then UGC would be cysteine. And you can see that some of these codons actually code for the same amino acid. So UGU and UGC both give you cysteine. UAU and UAC give you tyrosine. The last code there is an AUU. And AUU would technically be isoleucine, which if we, AUU. There, if I had given you this code better, should have ended with one of these, UAA, UAG, and UCA. So that's how this chart works. We're not going to get into it. A lot more than that. There's a lot more that goes into protein synthesis. At this stage, we're going to continue to treat it as kind of surface level stuff. So there are questions about anything I talked about yesterday? Okay. What I'm going to get you guys to do today is I'm going to give you an opportunity to work through a bunch of questions on this stuff. I'd like to keep you and the C block on the same page. No. Did anyone, okay, so these other 2 questions I wanted you guys to do yesterday, hands up if you got them done. There's a few of you. Hands up if you were like, yeah, I didn't bother because we only had 30 seconds left in class. Fantastic. Then we'll talk about them tomorrow. What I'd like you to do is I want you to start here for those of you who didn't do them yesterday, and I'd like you to work through. There's a bunch of questions on DNA replication, protein synthesis, and then there's a bunch of multiple choice questions. There's 24 of them. You don't have to do this last thing here to complete the Freyer model. You don't have to do that. And then the next page where it starts with heredity, this is going to be what we're going to start with tomorrow. Don't do this. So there's a bunch of questions in there that we're going to review this process. Hopefully help you guys get ready for the quiz that I'm going to give you later this week. And that is what I'm going to get you guys to do today. Questions, comments, concerns. Okay, cool. Then I'm going to put on some music. You guys get a work block on this stuff. If you were one of the few who wrote me the chemistry test late, I have those marked. I can tell you what you got if you are interested. Or they are all in now, or they're all now in my ed too. So, okay, you have your task on your market set giver. We're gonna do. Where's what I want? I don't want that. I want best of soundtracks. Okay. Turns down. It's not quite so loud when things start. Okay. Okay, there you go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15, 16, 17, 20, 22. Okay. School stuff. Okay. 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 mitosis set, but the whole point of mitosis is to split the cell. By the time mitosis starts, DNA replication is done. So it's not during those phases, definitely not cytophases. Only other things.
We look at it, right?
Maybe DNA replicated during interphase, the cell mitosis. There's no paper in the building. Well, and last year, this time, they told us they weren't ordering. We haven't heard that this year.